Welcome, beautiful people, to episode 67 of the Ignite Your Purpose show, podcast, vlog, chinwag session, chewing the fat talks. We do it all, people. And we thank you for being here. John being in the UK and it being the fourth year, the World Cup finals. He viewed the finals last night. England got eliminated. But we want to talk about the broader picture here of what it is that the World Cup brings to each and every one of us as countrymen. Now, here in Canada, our team has never quite got there. It is what it is. It's not that it's big over here, but it's not like it is over there. We have some great talent, but it's just not. It is what it is. But nationalism, patriotism, we're talking it all today. John.
Well, after being eliminated last night, I kind of just sat for a few minutes and reflected on the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks of the football and what a real buzz there's been around the sort of the England setup, considering we weren't really supposed to do very well. We had a really young team. It was built for the future, not necessarily this competition. But I thought about how historically we always, when we get knocked out, the media kicks in and we just start bashing them and should have done this and should have done that and could have played this. Now, I know nothing about football. I've kicked a ball a few times, but I can't really comment on performance. But what I can comment on is, from what I've seen, is sort of the general attitude and behaviour of the players. And it seems to have spread from that core team across society, sort of within the UK, certainly within the parts I've seen. Okay, we've had some great weather, but there just seems to be this air of positivity for once, and we can, and won't it be amazing when we have, rather than the old histrionics and the rhetoric of we always get knocked out, we'll never make it past this. And so that just got me thinking on these subjects of how possibly we all look at sports as individual or team sports, but whether there is actually a bigger role played, and whether if you're an athlete, whether your role is bigger than you. It's not your performance; it's what your performance will bring to those people outside of you, and how you can inspire and motivate and encourage people to follow in your footsteps or to do something similar, maybe slightly different. But that's one of the things I was thinking about. I'm going to have Max have a little chat, and maybe I'll come on to something else. So not really a question to answer today, just a discussion and a gym whack. So that's
a trending topic discussion. I would say I'm going to come from a little bit more of esoteric / political side. I mean, when I've watched and I've seen, for example, being over here in Canada, when I've seen, for example, Conor McGregor step into a stadium, and you see the Irish pride, and we're in North America, right? Like, so you're talking descendants like myself, an Italian background. I wasn't born in Italy, but I was raised Italian in Canada, right? When you see that pride, and I mean, you feel it. Like, even remembering it, I'm getting tingles in me. It's a form of patriotism and nationalism, I think, nowadays that is unacceptable because everything has to be politically correct. We don't want to say this, that, or the next thing to offend anybody. We want to include everybody, which is great. But at the same time, there's got to be a form of patriotism, right? And I think right now more than ever, especially in the soccer vibe, is you got people rooting for their countries. I mean, you had Russians, you had Czechs, you had, some of the greatest teams weren't even in the World Cup, right? If you follow soccer, I mean, you guys call it football. But it was so off the wall, and people were allowed to break the rules of being politically correct right now. And I think that's a massive... In general, I think that's a massive undertone in society right now. If you look at, what's going on in the U.S., obviously, what's going on in Italy, Hungary, you've got the 5-star movement, all these political parties that are coming up based on nationalism. And whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I'm not there. I have no clue. But it's just something that's kind of been in the media suppressed. and you can see it rising, I feel, in sports. Now, if I go back to my heritage and I understand where in the Roman times, what they put sports on for was the bread and circus thing, right? To keep us blinded from what's really going on. And I
Yeah,
think
keep
if,
us trained.
yeah, now I think if John and I watched football, soccer, hockey, baseball every day of the week, 24/7, there's an issue. Now the World Cup comes around once every 4 years, different story, right? So underlying tones, maybe there's something going on in the subconscious of this planet. But it was good to see. Even me, I don't watch soccer, but um, there was highlights that I saw where I was enthralled, man. Hearing the scream of the crowd, seeing some cool plays. I mean, it does get you going, and it
Yeah.
does get you vibing for these people, for what is possible. You know what I mean?
I think so. Touching on the patriotism thing, my family grew up in the northwest of England, and I remember going from the Isle of Man back there to visit, and you've got the big gable ends of buildings and Union Jack flags and British Bulldogs and things. And we went back one summer, and they were all gone. And I think it was people became sort of concerned about offending other people.
Yeah.
Well, if we're encouraging all of these different ethnic backgrounds to come into the UK to grow it into a multicultural, and we're not going to get into politics, into a multicultural society. We don't want to offend them by having this red, white, and blue flag on the end of the building. And there was this real kind of fear of, segregating people. I don't ever think it's like that. I think that there's pride in your country and pride in your countrymen and pride in your achievements, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be offensive. I think we're all entitled to our opinion and what's good or bad, and having dialogue and conversation is really important. This is why I believe in this. This is why I believe in that. And then somebody else might say, well, I agree with that, but I think different. And having this grown-up conversation and we can have the Quran here and the Bible here or whatever it might be, and it's just being able to have a dialogue without becoming too biased in your opinion. We become very biased to what we've been taught and what we've learned as we grow up. We believe is right in relation to the last piece of news or media or data that we've read. But I think only when we have the other side of the argument, you can then create an informed decision, and you can be patriotic either way. It's just about being social, really, trying to live together, being cool.
I mean, and you got to look at the teams. Like, look at Italy. I know Italy didn't make it in, but look at Italy's team. Look at France's team. I mean, they aren't just Italian. I mean, they're every color, creed, and nationality on the team because they were born, they were raised, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some teams that are, strictly just from that country, right? But in general, to me, it looks like, as a viewer, a lot of multiculturalism. And I mean, you see highlights where you see every color and creed helping each other up, loving each other as they win or lose, right? And it really is. It shows us a solidarity, a strong force of togethership as humanity, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's great, and that it might drag into more. Occasionally, we'll have a discussion, conversation, and we'll come up with a subject. But then sometimes we'll come up with two. But where Matt was just saying about this coming together of different countries and nations and people, it is. I was thinking about the football last night and the positive that can come from it, and then I thought back to the Miami Hurricane from last year, and then the Miami shooting at the school this year, and the is it And Me campaign in America with the sort of the actresses that had, all that kind of thing.
Yep.
And why does it take this absolute tragedy so many times, or a national, climatic disaster, to bring people together? And what would it? Imagine how powerful, incredible we would be if we could just bring ourselves together without these cataclysmic episodes.
Yeah, it's definitely unique that it takes, and for each and every one of us, think about this. I mean, this is another conversation, but I mean, you're talking on the national world scale, but for each and every one of us, it takes some type of tragedy, loss, disease to wake our own self up, right?
Yeah,
Because we're all on autopilot 90% of the time. So it takes something to shake us to the core to go, oh, wow, there's more going on just than me driving to work and me driving home and me doing this to pay my bills, right? There's a bigger thing going on, and it takes something to shake us to bring our awareness back to that.
yeah. I'm
But
not
let's continue
particularly.
that talk tomorrow.
So yeah, we'll continue it. I'm not particularly sure if we've got a takeaway. It's maybe just to stimulate some questions in your own minds. Have a think about it. Send some questions. See what you think. I think I'm out. I think I'm out, man. I'm done. Run out of words.
There you go. As always, it's a beautiful day, people. We appreciate your time. You know, we could be anywhere else in the world, and you is right here with us. We appreciate
See you next time. Thanks.
16
Bye.
tomorrow.
Cheers.